The scene within the tree was almost disappointing. The Lost Boys were situated in their usual locations, one curled on a bearskin beside the hearth and another snoozing gently in a hammock. But Peter was awake, and he wasn't alone. He was perched on the edge of his bed with that Wendy wrapped at his feet. Beside her was a small boy in pink-footed pajamas and another boy wearing perfectly round black-framed spectacles that he adjusted on the bridge of his nose. He, too, wore a nightshirt. The lumpy brothers themselves. Tink wanted to gnash her teeth. She'd caught them mid-conversation. Peter was boasting about how Wendy had helped him find his shadow and sewn it back on for him. Tink's mouth filled with a sour taste. Who could possibly care about a silly shadow anyway? Peter clearly didn't need it all that badly, or he would never have lost it in the first place. "I'm so happy you're going to stay here and be our mother," he said, making Tink's whole body seize like a block of ice. Wendy looked equally shocked. "Why, Peter," she said, her tone gentle, "John, Michael, and I can't stay here forever." Peter was indignant. "Why not?" He flew up and around the three siblings and landed in front of them, hands on hips imperiously. "We're from London, not Neverland," Wendy replied, "and we have a mother, and a father, mind you, of our own. Not to mention a Nana," John added, though Tink didn't know what a Nana was, and couldn't see how that was at all helpful. The little one gazed up at Peter. "But you could come back to London with us." The one in glasses nodded. He stood on the bed, warming to the idea. "Yeah, Wendy can't be your mother because she's still got one of her own, and we need to go back to her. But you could come too. Our parents wouldn't mind at all." Wendy clapped her hands and jumped up, embracing the boy. "John, what a delightful idea!" She turned to Peter. "He's right. They take care of you. They take good and proper care of all the Lost Boys. I'm certain of it." Tinker Bell's skin felt electrified. Her vision narrowed to a tiny pinpoint. All she could hear was the steady rush of her own heartbeat as it sent her pixie blood surging to every channel of her veins. "He isn't saying no," she realized. "Why isn't he saying no?" Forgetting herself in her rage and panic, Tinker Bell darted up to Peter, wings flapping sharply enough to scratch glass. "You can't leave Neverland." "Tink, you're back." He didn't sense her mood, so he caught up to Wendy and her fabulous plans was he. The dust-up at the lagoon was apparently forgotten as well. "We had the most splendid day adventure." She cut him off. She couldn't bear to hear another second about his grand adventures with Wendy and her splendid brothers and their lovely human family back in London, who not only wanted them, but would want Peter and his brothers as well. And who will want me? Tinker Bell felt a single tear well in one eye. "You can't go," she said again, more desperate. Never mind that she'd come with Hook on a mission to destroy Peter, that he would be willing to leave Neverland behind entirely at this human child's fleeting suggestion was the ultimate betrayal. Truly, he cared not a whit for her. Leaving her behind would be as easy for him as casting her off had been for her fairy family. He held out an arm, as though she were some hysterical creature to be placated. "Tink, you cannot leave Neverland!" Tinker Bell exploded. All three of the children and Peter took a step back, giving her a wide and cautious berth. Finally, Peter Pan had faltered. Tinker Bell was somewhat surprised at how thrilling it was to see such a thing. The clever and cocksure Peter Pan himself having a moment of doubt, and because of her. "You don't understand," she said. A cruel smile spread across her lips. "You can't leave." She went on, feeling the words round and full-bodied inside her. "Because of the pixie dust. Now he would learn. He would know. Her power." "What do you mean?" He shrugged. "It's what we use to fly, so?" His cheeks reddened, and he had the good sense to look mildly sheepish. "Is this because I borrowed some? For the darlings?" Buzzing filled Tink's head. hot and furious. Of course Peter Pan would try to play off his theft as more boyhood hijinks. "You cannot leave," she said, everything boiling up inside her, "because it is the dust that keeps you young. The pixie dust keeps you young, and it keeps you here." "The dust keeps me young?" John blinked confused. "I thought you didn't want to grow up," he said to Peter. "I thought you chose that." "I did," Peter insisted. "Ha! Hook chose that," Tink corrected before she could stop herself. Then again, there was a great might in watching the realization slowly strip Peter's face of expression. "And I made it so." The words were out, and there would be no taking them back. Her body felt swollen with power, emotion, force. At the sound of the captain's name, the Lost Boys awakened like a bell had been rung. The horrid truth was out, could never be put back in. All that could be heard within the space was the crackle of the hearth fire and quiet, even breathing. Tink and Hook working together. Tink and Hook casting a spell to make Peter Pan young and vulnerable. "Hook thought if I didn't grow up, I'd be easier to kill," Peter quietly stated the obvious. Tink didn't dispute. Wendy gasped, but the others were too stunned to react. "Well, here I still am," he said darkly. "And where is he?" A thunderous crash sounded, followed by a shower of loose earth and dust. When it cleared, there was the captain himself, standing among the group, cutlass unsheathed. "Fear not, my boy," he said to Peter, gesturing grandly around the space. "I have arrived."